Hi guys, this is Britt coming at you on, Friday, March 4th, 2016. And I hope you guys are doing very well on this Friday afternoon. I'm doing very well, however, it's still shitty outside, so we can't really go out and play. I did some wall walking this morning, which is fantastic. I went a little farther than I should have. Really shouldn't be pushing it like that. I feel fine, but I shouldn't have gone that far. I just didn't realize that I had to go to a store and I had to go around, and I just lost track. I mean, I had my fitness map, my fitness on, so I realized at the end of the walk that I went a little too far. But it's over and done with now. I feel fine. I was just a little winded at the end, but you know, I'm surviving on like 500 or less calories a day, so I'm not gonna be you know, running marathons. So that's just not gonna happen. So yeah, otherwise I'm doing very well. No pain left really. I'm doing great. Can't complain. I had a small NSV, which I will talk about on Wednesday. Actually, it's not small. Actually, it's one of the big ones, and it just happened within a week of having surgery, which is insane and great at the same time. So I will talk about that. This is not one of my regular update videos. This week I am still at home. I will be at home for like I'm think I'm at 3 weeks. I have time off and I am bored already, and it's only a week and a half after my surgery and I'm bored to tears. So I've been trying to find things to do. I've been running errands and doing what I can do to keep my mind occupied. And since it's not nice outside, I can't just go for a walk, which is normally what I would do. It's too cold. So maybe in a couple of days, it's supposed to get pretty warm. In a couple of days, I'll start being able to do that. But in the meantime, everything's still slushy and melty, and I can't risk falling on any ice or snow. So I can't go outside really. It's only 38, so don't get me wrong. It's not like a heat wave or anything. But I really can't fall, and the streets aren't plowed that great. So I'm basically restricted to going inside places right now. Hence the mall walking. So, the reason I'm bringing my update to you guys is it's not an update, actually. My updates usually are on Wednesdays. This is to talk about my hospital visit. I realized in all the updates and stuff I came at you guys with during the hospital stay and when I got home and before I went, I didn't talk about my hospital stay. And this is basically a video for people who haven't gone to the hospital yet. People who have gone, probably, this is old news, you know. But for people who haven't gone to the hospital yet, this is an informational kind of thing for you. I will try to keep it short. However, short is too funny because I never am able to keep it short. Sorry. I have really chapped lips. I am getting in a ton of fluid, but because I'm not eating, I'm finding I'm chewing on my lips. So that's that. Yeah. So that's what this video is supposed to be for. So let me dive right into it. The morning in the hospital, which is the update I gave you guys, I got there super early. They checked me in. They got me into a bed. They had me undress everything, underwear and all, into one of those like backless robes. They had me do a pregnancy test. Make sure you guys do one if you're women. Make sure you do a pregnancy test. If your hospital doesn't do it, you can either request it or do it yourself. Because I have known people to have the surgery and not realize they're pregnant. I have an IUD. And but they still had me do one. The other person I know, well, I've seen a video on YouTube where the chick was pregnant. She had an IUD in, and she was pregnant and had the surgery done. So there is no, birth control. We all should know by now birth control is not 100% effective. Basically, mostly due to human error. So, just saying, it's one of the things that they mandate and they make you do at my hospital. So I had to do a pregnancy test. They laid me down. They got my IV hooked up. That was fun. And then I basically waited. I had a bunch of people come in and ask me questions, talk to me, all the people who are going to be in the surgery room with me, which is a lot. And then when it was finally time, they came in and put some stuff in my IV to make me feel great and to calm me down and relax me. And then they wheeled me off and I said goodbye to my husband, and he took all my stuff, and I didn't see him till later that day. So they wheeled me into the operating room. You go on the cross. It is a cross. They put your arms like this, and you go up like that, and you lay you down, and they strap you down, and they put pillows in my arms, which is great. It was really comfy compared to the C-section cross I was on. That was not fun. And then you see the anesthesiologist. The reason I'm looking like that is because when you're laying down, he's right here. He's right above your head. And he talks to you, and then he gives you some more stuff in your IV to make you kind of bleh, and then he puts the mask on you and says night-night, and you say night-night, and then you go to bed. I woke up in the operating room, and I had some gentlemen come and wheel me to my room. I was not completely fully awake. They wheeled me to the recovery room. I was not even close to there. So, not to say I could barely remember it. But the recovery room, they have you off of that. They have you off the thing, but they hand you your pain button. And they say, okay, if you have any pain, press the button. Every 15 minutes. Can't press it more than that. Although I have been told by a nurse friend of mine, they do keep track of how often you press it. You can press as much as you want. It's not going to do anything. But they still know when you press that button. So if you're pressing it every 2 seconds, they know you're pressing it. They're just not going to do anything for you. They just keep track of why you're pressing it and how often you're pressing it. Crazy things like that. So I don't know why they need to know. It's probably sure it's for a good reason, but they keep track. So anyway, they hand me the pain medicine, and I kept getting yelled at because I wasn't breathing very well. Apparently, when you're under anesthesia, you don't breathe very good as it is. And then when they give you pain medicines, that interacts with the lingering anesthesia, and you just don't breathe very good. So I get getting yelled at to breathe better. I found out that I was like, I'm in pain. And they're like, well, yeah, you have an incision right on your chest. And I was like, what? Oh, I do. Okay, sorry, I'll breathe better. I didn't realize that the pain was because of that incision right there. I didn't realize that the incisions were going to be so high up. I should have known, but I just didn't realize it. When you look at the diagram of where your stomach is, it's right up here. But I just didn't think about it, about an incision being right below my bra line. So it was just, So I was in and out in the recovery room with my little pain button, breathing better, making sure I was breathing, keeping track of my breathing. Even though I was out of it, I was still on that shit. Then they wheeled me to my room. My husband was there waiting for me, and I was out for they would come in and wake me up and say, hey, boogity boogie. And then they'd leave and they'd come back and, hey, boogity boogity. And then they'd leave. And I was in and out. It wasn't until about 9 o'clock at night that I finally woke up, and they came in and they're like, hey, boogity boogity, you need to go pee, boogity boogity, in the next 2 hours. If you don't, we will put a catheter in there and do an ultrasound and eliminate your thing for you. And I was like, that's not good. So I rang the nurse and I was like, I need to pee. And they're like, oh, okay, sure. So they took me and I went pee. And now peeing for the first time wasn't necessarily the funnest thing in the world. It was pretty painful because you're super sore and you're trying to get pee out. And the pee doesn't just come out like that. You can't just pee. You're kind of pushing a little. And I say a little because you have to be very careful. I don't want you to force it because you got all the stitches and your stomach just got stapled up, and you don't want to bust a staple or a stitch. So you have to be very careful, but you do have to kind of try and ease it out. Otherwise it's not, it's going to take a long time to come out. So I finally got it out, and that took a good hour. I think maybe a half hour, maybe 20 minutes. I don't know. It felt like forever. I did need some help with my husband easing down onto the toilet and getting up, so he stayed in the room with me. I got all that done. They were very proud that I got it done. And once you do that initial time, the next time's a little less hard. The next time's a little less hard, and then it's pretty smooth sailing past that. So the first few times going to the bathroom is pretty difficult. You're kind of have to slowly ease it out there because it's not just going to come out on its own. And then, yeah, that was my peeing experience. So I was up. I think I'd say 6 hours after my surgeries when I finally just got up and moved around. I walked a little bit that night, but I'm talking maybe 30 feet at a time. I'd walk 30 feet from my room back, and then I'd go lay down. And then I do the same thing an hour or two later. I was blowing in my thing. They have a little doohickey that you blow in so that you don't get pneumonia. They want your lungs going and working strong. And I was a good little patient. I peed when they wanted me to. I burped when they wanted me to. I farted when they wanted me to. I was a good patient. They didn't give me any water or anything to drink till day 2 after my borium sip. When I did my borium sip, which I had to do 6 sips, I did do 2 light sips, 2 medium sips, and 2 heavy sips. So this is thick glue borium at the end. And each time I had to turn to a side to take a picture of my how everything was going. Once I cleared all those things, then I was able to go back to the room, and they had a tray waiting for me of soup and Jell-O and water, and it was fantastic. And I drank water like crazy. You don't get to drink anything for 2 days. So by the time I got my water, I didn't care about the soup and the Jell-O and all. I wanted that water. That water. As soon as I walked in the room, water. I'm like, oh. And I drank a lot of water. and I had an IV in. So they do that. They want to make sure that you can drink on your own, and I did. And it did hurt, but my mouth and throat were so dry. It doesn't help that they put a breathing tube down your throat when you're during the surgery, because when they pull it out, it kind of hurts your throat a little. So you got that going on, and you can't drink anything. So as soon as I got that water, it was like relief. It was like heaven. The soup was okay because the warm things were kind of making my tummy feel good. So the soup was okay, but I really was digging the water, and I drank water like crazy until I left. And I'm still drinking water like crazy, which is good. Walking and stuff, like I said, every hour I would walk. I'd walk on third shift too. I knew the third shift nurses very well because I was awake more at night than during the day. By the last day, I was cleared to go on full liquids, which is like cream of wheat and milk and things like that. So I was able to have some normal stuff the last day I was there, which was only until noon, and then they cleared me to leave. I got to dress in normal clothes, and I was on my way. Now, as far as packing your bags and stuff like that, remember, you're going to be in this gown the entire time you're there. They're not going to want you to dress in clothes. They don't want you to have underwear on, because they have to be able to get to stuff. So if you put clothes on, I can imagine they might get a little irritated that you're putting clothes on. So you might be able to bring slippers, but don't bring any clothes. Don't expect to be wearing underwear or anything like that, because they probably don't want you wearing that stuff. I didn't wear any of those things. I wore the gown, and they give you slippers like as soon as you get there too. At least my hospital did. The hospital I've been to, all hospitals I've been to, slip on some slippers. So you're pretty much covered. You don't need anything as far as that's concerned. The only thing that I would live and die by, and it doesn't have to be this brand, but it's called Biotine. It's mouth spray, and it's dry mouth spray. And this, I lived on this for the first few days in the hospital until I was able to get water in. Even before the hospital, because I had to do a 24-hour fast the day before, and I couldn't drink anything. And this was, I stayed the night before. It wasn't really 12. It was 12-hour fast, I guess I would say. This is basically a mouth symptom relief, dry mouth symptom relief, so it was fantastic. You don't have to get that specific brand. And I heard sucking on Altoids helps, so Altoids is good, little mints or something like that. But this was extremely helpful, so I loved that stuff. And I would look into getting something like that, if not that. And of course, chapstick. Your mouth is going to get super, super dry because you're not drinking anything. So, but I did find that the mouth spray really helps. Also, when you get home, those gas strips, if you're still experiencing gas like I am, those gas strips can get pretty pricey. You're supposed to eat like 4 of them at a time, 2 to 4, and you have up to 8 a day, and it's super expensive, and I think you only get like 12, and they're like $9 a box. These you get 18 for like half the price. So as soon as you can go chewable, which I was able to go chewable as soon as I got home, start eating. You get something cheaper if you still need them, just FYI. Okay, so that was my hospital video. Everything went well. I'm still a little puffy in the hand I'm not puffy anymore actually, but I have that mark still. You can see where my IV went in, that little red mark. That's where my IV went in. My hand's still sore from it and a week and a half out. So, you know, it's not bad. I'm pretty lucky. I'm very glad everything went well. No problems, no complications, and I will be going back to the doctor next week on Thursday to do my 1-week checkup with, or 2-week checkup with him. So, but I wanted to give you guys that little video on the hospital stay. I didn't really talk about it, and I figured, hey, I'm bored and not doing anything. Why don't I do a hospital video? So there it is. I hope you guys enjoy it. So those of you guys who've already been in the hospital, this is old news for anybody that needs to know. I hope this is helpful for you. If you have any questions, let me know. However, keep in mind that everybody's hospital experience is going to be different. Every hospital does things different. Like for me, the nausea medicine, as soon as I got it, anytime I requested it, they were on it. I didn't have to throw up once in the hospital because they're on it. And even after that nausea medicine, they said to me, we have other nausea medicine. If this doesn't do it, tell us and we'll give you other things. So there are a lot of things they can do for your nausea. So if you are experiencing nausea, don't suffer alone. Tell the nurse that you're experiencing it, that you need more stuff. I think most of the time that if you're telling them that, they'll help you out. I'm not entirely, like I said, different hospitals, different things, but my hospital made it very clear that they did not want me puking at all. So they were very accommodating as far as nausea is concerned, and you will experience nausea. It's just the way it is. You just had your stomach operated on. It's probably going to happen, and the amount of gas and stuff you got burping going on and stuff probably gonna give you a little nausea as well. So it is to be expected, and make sure you're letting your nurses and the staff aware that you're having these pains, because you don't want to puke. You really don't want to puke. If you do, you do, and a lot of people do. But if you can help it, by all means, help it. So I hope everybody has a great weekend. It's Friday, And I'm not doing anything because I can't do anything, so what's the point? And but I hope everybody has a great weekend. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.